Imagine boarding a plane, ready for an ordinary flight, and knowing that some of your fellow passengers would never be seen again. Tonight, we explore 4 chilling cases where people mysteriously vanished during air travel, leaving investigators baffled and families desperate for answers. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. You don't want to miss any of our dark and mysterious stories from around the world. Case 1. Frederick Valentich, the pilot who vanished into the unknown, October 21, 1978. The sun had just set over Melbourne, and the sky above southern Australia was fading into darkness. A young pilot, only 20 years old, prepared for what should have been a simple evening training flight. His name was Frederick Valentich, ambitious, passionate about flying, and eager to build hours toward his commercial license. He rented a small Cessna 182L, registered VHDSJ, and took off from Moorabbin Airport, heading toward King Island just across the Bass Strait. The route was short, routine, but Frederick would never make it to his destination. Roughly halfway through the flight, as twilight deepened into night, Frederick radioed Melbourne Air Traffic Control. His voice was calm at first, but what he reported next would become one of the most chilling aviation mysteries in history. He said there was another aircraft above him, moving unusually fast, shining bright green lights and following his plane at close range. The controller checked the radar. Nothing appeared. There was no record of another aircraft anywhere near him. As minutes passed, Frederick's voice began to sound more anxious. He described the unknown craft circling above him, playing some sort of game. The controller asked him to identify the object, but Frederick replied that it was impossible. It's not an aircraft. Then came the final transmission. Frederick's voice, steady but uneasy, said, "Melbourne, that strange aircraft is hovering on top of me again. It's hovering and it's not an aircraft." A metallic scraping sound followed, a long, distorted noise that lasted 17 seconds, then silence. Frederick Valentich's Cessna disappeared from radar. No emergency signal, no trace of debris, no sign of the young pilot. The search operation covered thousands of square kilometers of sea and coastline. They found nothing. Investigators later discovered that Valentich was fascinated by UFOs and had recently watched films and read stories about extraterrestrial encounters. Some skeptics claimed he might have become disoriented, mistaking stars or lights on the water for a flying object, eventually crashing into the ocean. Others suggested he deliberately vanished, faking his own death. But then came the strange reports. Several residents along the coast claimed they saw an unusual green light in the sky that same night, moving erratically, hovering, then vanishing into the clouds. A farmer on Cape Otway reported seeing a small airplane with a bright light directly above it, moments before both disappeared. To this day, no wreckage of Frederick Valentich's aircraft has ever been found. No body, no definitive clue. Only that haunting last message and the eerie static that followed it. What really happened over the Bass Strait that night? Was it a tragic accident, a psychological illusion, or something far beyond human explanation? Nearly 5 decades later, the mystery remains unsolved. Pilots still mention his name in hushed tones, a ghost story for those who take to the skies. Every so often, on quiet nights when the wind shifts over the ocean, someone swears they've seen a faint green light moving low through the fog, just above the waves. Case 2. Malaysian Airlines Flight MH370, the vanishing over the skies. On March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport, Malaysia, bound for Beijing, China. On board were 227 passengers and 12 crew members, each expecting a routine flight. But what began as an ordinary journey quickly became one of the most baffling mysteries in modern aviation history. Initially, the flight appeared normal. The pilots communicated routinely with air traffic control, and the plane climbed to cruising altitude. However, 38 minutes into the flight, the last voice transmission was received. It was brief and routine, giving no indication of the disaster that was about to unfold. Moments later, the aircraft vanished from civilian radar without any distress signal. The sudden disappearance left authorities stunned. Immediate search and rescue operations were launched in the South China Sea, but within hours, it became clear that the plane had changed course in a way that baffled investigators. Data from satellite communications later revealed that the aircraft had flown for several more hours, turning southwest over the Indian Ocean, a vast, remote area far from its intended path. This revelation raised more questions than answers. Why did the plane divert so drastically? What happened to the crew? And most hauntingly, where did it end up? As days turned into weeks, the search expanded to the southern Indian Ocean, an area of the world largely uninhabited and treacherous for any recovery operations. Despite deploying hundreds of ships, aircraft, and satellite monitoring, the search turned up only a few pieces of debris, washed ashore on distant islands. Each fragment seemed to tell part of the story, yet the full picture of MH370's final moments remained elusive. Theories about the disappearance multiplied. Some suggest mechanical failure incapacitated the plane and its crew, leaving the aircraft to glide uncontrollably until fuel exhaustion. Others speculate about deliberate actions, ranging from a hijacking to a deliberate act by someone on board. More controversial theories include covert military involvement or secret landings on hidden airstrips. The internet and media buzzed with speculation, with countless experts and enthusiasts proposing ideas, but none were confirmed. The mystery of MH370 has left an enduring mark. It changed aviation safety regulations, emphasizing the need for real-time aircraft tracking and improved communication systems. However, for the families of the 239 souls on board, these measures offer little solace. The anguish of uncertainty remains as they continue to wait for answers that may never come. Even years later, MH370 continues to haunt the skies. Its disappearance is a chilling reminder that, despite modern technology and global communication, the world can still hold secrets beyond our reach. The fate of Flight MH370 and the lives it carried continues to inspire fear, fascination, and endless speculation, a story of tragedy, mystery, and the unknown that refuses to fade. Case 3. D.B. Cooper, the man who vanished into the night. In the early evening of November 24, 1971, a man wearing a business suit and sunglasses boarded Northwest Orient Flight 305 in Portland, Oregon. Calm, polite, and seemingly ordinary, he carried a briefcase containing a secret that would turn him into one of America's most enigmatic figures. Once airborne, the man revealed he was armed, claimed to have explosives, and demanded $200,000 in cash, along with 4 parachutes. He instructed the flight crew to comply with his demands, setting the stage for one of the most audacious crimes in U.S. history. The passengers were understandably terrified, but Cooper remained composed, maintaining an air of calm authority throughout the ordeal. He negotiated carefully with airline officials on the ground, ensuring his ransom and parachutes were delivered to the plane upon landing in Seattle. Remarkably, he allowed all passengers to leave the aircraft unharmed, demonstrating a calculated sense of control and precision. With the money and parachutes secured, the plane took off again, flying into the dark skies over the Pacific Northwest. Somewhere over the rugged wilderness of southwestern Washington, D.B. Cooper made his daring escape. In the dead of night, he leapt from the rear stairway of the plane with a parachute and $200,000 in cash, a ghost disappearing into the shadows. Despite an extensive manhunt by the FBI and local authorities, he was never found. Not a trace of him, not a shred of evidence to indicate whether he survived the jump or perished in the dense forest below. Over the years, the mystery of D.B. Cooper has captivated investigators, writers, and enthusiasts. Some speculate that he perished during the jump, his body and the ransom money lost to the wilderness. Others believe he meticulously planned the escape, vanishing into a new identity and living out his life in secrecy. The legend of Cooper is fueled by tantalizing clues. A few bundles of cash found along the Columbia River decades later, eyewitness reports of suspicious characters and cryptic tips sent to authorities. Each clue only deepens the enigma, keeping the story alive in public imagination. The case of D.B. Cooper is unique not only for the audacity of the crime but also for the complete disappearance of the perpetrator. It challenges conventional logic. A man hijacks a plane, extorts a significant ransom, disappears without a trace, and leaves a trail of questions that have haunted law enforcement for over 50 years. Unlike other criminals, Cooper never sought notoriety. His silence and vanishing act have made him a symbol of mystery and ingenuity. Even today, the story sparks speculation, documentaries, and countless investigations. Was D.B. Cooper a seasoned survivalist? Did he die on that fateful night? Or did he walk away, blending into anonymity while the world searched in vain? The answers remain unknown, and perhaps that is exactly what makes the legend endure. In the annals of unsolved mysteries, D.B. Cooper stands apart. A figure who disappeared into the night, leaving only questions, fascination, and the tantalizing possibility that some mysteries are never meant to be solved. Case 4. Amelia Earhart, the disappearance of the legendary aviator. On July 2, 1937, Amelia Earhart, one of the most celebrated aviators in history, embarked on a daring flight that would capture the world's imagination. She and her navigator, Fred Noonan, were attempting to circumnavigate the globe, a feat that required both skill and courage, as aviation technology of the time was still in its early stages. Their journey had been full of challenges, but Earhart's determination and experience carried them through treacherous weather and long, isolated flights. The fateful leg of their journey took them from Lae, Papua New Guinea, to Howland Island, a tiny speck in the vast Pacific Ocean. It was a critical and extremely difficult segment, requiring precise navigation over thousands of miles of open water. Earhart radioed intermittent updates to the Coast Guard cutter Itasca, stationed near Howland Island, but the messages were becoming increasingly frantic. She reported difficulties in locating the island as radio signals were faint, weather conditions deteriorated, and visibility was poor. At some point, Earhart's final transmission reached the Itasca. "We are running low on fuel. We are flying on. We cannot see Howland. We are..." The transmission was abruptly cut off, leaving the world with a haunting silence. Despite extensive search efforts by the U.S. Navy and Coast Guard, no trace of Earhart, Noonan, or their Lockheed Electra aircraft was found at the time. Over the decades, the disappearance of Amelia Earhart has inspired countless theories. Some experts suggest she may have crashed into the Pacific Ocean after running out of fuel, her plane sinking to the ocean floor. Others propose that she and Noonan may have landed on a remote, uninhabited island, surviving for some time before succumbing to the elements. A few even speculate more controversial scenarios, including capture by foreign powers. The mystery is compounded by fragments of evidence that have surfaced over the years, pieces of aluminum and other debris found on islands in the Pacific, photographs purporting to show Earhart in captivity, and cryptic diary entries or messages uncovered by researchers. Yet none of these findings have definitively solved the mystery. Each clue fuels speculation, leaving the world to wonder what really happened on that vast, unforgiving ocean. Amelia Earhart's disappearance is not just a story of aviation, it is a narrative of human courage, ambition, and the limits of exploration. She challenged the boundaries of what was possible for women in aviation and inspired generations to dream beyond the horizon. Her final flight, shrouded in mystery, continues to captivate historians, investigators, and enthusiasts worldwide. Even today, researchers launch expeditions, scanning the Pacific in hopes of uncovering definitive evidence. Earhart's story endures as a symbol of adventure and the unknown, a reminder that despite our technological advances, the world still holds mysteries that defy explanation. The courage, determination, and ultimate fate of Amelia Earhart remain etched in history, leaving us to imagine her final moments as she flew into the vast, enigmatic skies of the Pacific, a legend that may never fully be solved.